Goedendag, lovely people. The world travel continues. We was in England, Germany, Australia, and we will visit America today. So we will switch to New Jersey now. My today's guest is an important part of the music industry. He touched the people emotional with his talent as singer, songwriter and theater performer. He is the voice of a generation. He is not only someone. Here is the one and only Cory Singer.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Cory. How are you and do you feel good today?
I'm Cory Singer. I'm a singer-songwriter from New Jersey in America, and I'm feeling good today.
That sounds really good because the weather is really good in Germany. How is the weather in New Jersey?
It's really hot. It's gotten hot here recently, yeah. So, it's I think it's summer now, so it's the warm weather. I get to wear the shorts now, so.
Warm it is because in Germany was last week 37 degrees.
Oh wow, yeah. No, we're a lot warmer than that. We're like in the 90s, so.
If the weather is good, then the most people are happy. That's good. So you are a singer, theater performer, a songwriter, recording artist. So how can I imagine your everyday life?
Well, in order to support the dream, I work. Like uh, a lot of people don't know this, but like to support yourself in the arts and all that, you have to work a job, like a full-time job. I work in a warehouse. It's reliable. I get my health insurance through there, and it's steady hours. And the company is pretty flexible. So, my advice is always have a side job, like, because you have to bring in income, so to support the dream. Then when I get home from work, I take a shower. I film some TikToks because I'm a TikToker. You can follow my page, the Cory Singer, CorySanger, and I'll write some music, or if I'm doing a play or a musical, I'll go to rehearsal and do that, and eat some food, watch a movie, and go to bed. Rinse, repeat.
That's a great day. So you have a lot of different activities.
Um, Depends on the day. I like to, write my music. I like to do theater a lot, as often as I can. I just got into my first community theater play since the start of COVID, so that's exciting. We had our first meeting last night. I actually was in Tennessee this past weekend to film my music video for my next single coming out, called Somebody's Heart. I'll be announcing the release date soon, not in this interview, but soon. And so that was a fun trip. I had a good time, and now I'm home. I'm working again, and I'm writing and performing. So.
You are not primarily a singer.
Well, that's my first and foremost love. I'm a singer by nature. I've just always been able to sing, and I'm a singer, I'm a performer, I'm a songwriter in that order. So.
It's really great because creative jobs are really fascinating.
Oh, definitely.
So every way begins in the childhood. Where were you born, and does the city has many opportunities to practice your passion for music?
Well, I was born in New Jersey. I won't say the city specifically, but we moved around a lot as a kid. My parents had some troubles around when I was born. I moved to different places in New Jersey until finally, when I was 10 years old, we settled in a nice little town. And that's around the time my parents got divorced. And my parents, luckily, they always supported me in anything I did, which I was very lucky for. Um, they just, whatever I wanted to do, they were behind me all the way. And I was lucky to have that. So, that helped. And also, when on my TikTok, I talk about my personal experience having autism. I'm on the autism spectrum. And growing up, that was difficult because you're different. And when you're different growing up, you're weird. And when you're weird, you're basically bullied and all that. But what got me respect growing up was singing and doing the school plays and all that. So that's how I gained my respect, despite being a weird autistic kid. So it was different because you see the world differently when you're autistic, and things that seem normal to you are odd and weird to people who are not autistic. So it was weird. I had some friends growing up, which is good, and I'm still really good friends with them today. So that's a lot of what my childhood was like, was just performing, finding myself. At 17 years old, I picked up the guitar, and I just kept writing and writing and writing. I did the show The Candy Factory on Bravo TV back in 2013. There was a winner per episode. It was a singing competition show. I won my episode. I won a song written for me by Grammy award-winning songwriter Candy Burris, and that's what planted seed for songwriting. But I've always been into performing growing up. I can't explain what it is. I just always liked putting myself out there and making a fool of myself. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. So you talk.
That's how I get my high.
No problem. I love it when people talk a lot, because you get a lot of information which you can learn of it. So you talked about your childhood. So many children and teens be bullied in the childhood because they are different. For example, I have been bullied for many years. It began with 8 years. Yes, I was 8 years old because I'm gay, and the people laughed about me in sport. Yes, in sport subject, all people laughed about me. So again and again, they laughed about me in the bus and in group chats. Sometimes I cried after school, I can remember. So what is your experiences, if you want to talk about it?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry you've gone through that. As someone who was bullied myself, it sucks. So I'm not gay, but I've had my own experiences of being bullied just for, like I said, being autistic and different. And kids are definitely not that understanding. That's my biggest advice, I guess, to you. I would say it's like, you're 18, you said?
No, I'm 21.
Oh, you're 21. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No,
but
yeah. 2000, the best year.
Oh, well, I was born 94. Wow, you're making me old, man. But 2000 was a good year. But kids are not understanding at all. So it was hard. I couldn't fit in. I was at, I embrace my autism now. Like, it's a part of who I am. But there were times it was a big disadvantage to me, because I couldn't. It was like I was an alien on another planet. You know what I mean? Like, I was not on where I should be, and I was surrounded by people who were foreign to me. And you get bullied for that. And so yeah, yeah, it sucks. But in a way, it kind of, what you get from bullying and what you do with it is entirely on the person who it's coming to, because I choose to look past that, and I've gotten better at standing up for myself. You know what I mean?
I know.
And like, you can't let the bullies win. Sometimes you gotta be meaner in a way, and not so much meaner, but stand your ground and not let them get to you. So.
Oh, I know what you mean. So my experience is that the bullying made me stronger with confidence.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to learn confidence with the very mean people. But if you learn it, then you are stronger than these bad kids.
Exactly.
So I wish everyone who get bullied now or in the past that they learn about it, that they don't deserve it and get confidence to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very well put.
So you talked about autism. What was it like growing up with having autism, and what experiments did you made with people around you?
Like I said, it's you're best way I can describe it's like being an alien and you're visiting another planet and you don't know how this planet works. That's basically how I could best describe it. I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when I was 4 years old. Now in the DSM-5, it's just autism because there's a big thing where Hans Asperger, the man was named after, was affiliated with the Nazis in Vienna. So, it was they just changed it to autism, and that's a whole nother thing. But when it comes to it's weird. Like I said, I got respect for my talent, and I made one of my best friends in school. He is also autistic, so we got along very well, and it was nice to know that there was someone there. And after high school, you realize who your real friends are. You know what I mean? Like you like be friends with a lot of people in school, but it's after high school where you learn who your real friends are. And I learned, and my friend with autism, he's one of them. So it's like we're still very close. I'm still close with another person from high school. Um, you know, uh, Sometimes adults cannot be understanding as well because sometimes in talking to you, you would not think I'm autistic because I can mask it well. I'm very good socially. I'm lucky. Not everybody is like that. There are people who are on the autism spectrum who are nonverbal. So I'm lucky in that sense. I still have difficulty reading sarcasm and humor sometimes. I've gotten better at it, but still having a hard time. And I do talk and ramble, but kind of like I'm doing now. But I used it as a strength too. Like I said, I talk about it on my TikTok. So which is, helped me immensely. And there was a time I thought being autistic was bad until I just embraced it. So
Yes, I understand you, because if you talk about it, you can not only help other people, you can help yourself too.
yeah, exactly.
So we will change the topic a bit now. What influence did your childhood have for living out your job today in the music industry?
What influence? I just the best feeling in the world for me is putting myself out there in front of a crowd of people and just doing my thing and making them laugh, making them cry, tell a story in any way, whether I'm doing it in a play or if I'm doing it with my own music. And you know, just that there's something about it. Like I said, when you're all the eyes on you and you can't mess up, it's just something about it. I can't explain it. It's a high. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing like it. And I always crave it.
I hear you and I understand you. So, did your surroundings and environment support you in your passion for music?
Yeah. Like I said, both my parents supported me immensely when it came to, m- any even outside of music and theater, like anything I ever tried, they supported me 1,000%. They pushed me to do good though, and like to go all out. So, uh, you know, it was rough when like your parents get divorced though, but I knew they both still loved me. So, especially being an only child. So, But if I didn't have that support system, I probably could have turned out different. So
Yes, I can hear you because I learned that I must work really hard that the results are really good. So you said that your parents said you should work hard that the result is good. So some people need longer to have success with the work, but the success is better than if you have a shorter time to have success.
yep,
How began your passion for music and acting?
loved it always. Just I don't even know what it was. I just, even before I did it, I wanted to do it. It's just, that's the best way I could explain it. I grew up around music. My parents always listened to music, like Stevie Wonder, Journey, classic rock. My dad introduced me to a lot of good music too, like Neil Young and all that. So, and theater too. Theater has such great music too. Um, and one day, in my school, they're doing a school play, and I jumped at the opportunity. It was the Velveteen Rabbit. I was in the fourth grade. I was 10 years old, and I was a clown. So, and I had one line.
Yes, but one line is a line too.
And I made people laugh.
A lot of people has inspirations in the childhood, like singers, actors, musicians, or other people who inspire you.
In theater, George Hearn, Stephen Sondheim, David Carroll, Robert Cuccioli, Philip Quast, in, genres outside of music, Neil Young, Pearl Jam, Queen, the Beatles, The Who, AC/DC, Sinatra. I love Sinatra. Stevie Wonder, Journey. I like a lot of older music. So,
Did your influence change while the time or while the years?
no, my influences, well, sometimes, once in a while, I don't like a lot of the current music because it all sounds the same, but once in a while you'll find someone who just sticks out and does something so different, but it's so good. And I'll get inspired by that. You know what I mean? So, but then I'll like go into my own head. My writing style, I would say, is very theatrical. So, because I'm telling a story. You know what I mean?
Yes. You began your career with the Bravo TV competition, The Candy Factory. What was your first career steps to be a singer, songwriter, theater performer?
I wanted to try something new because I've been doing theater for years, and I had played guitar for a year, and I'm like, I want to try something new and different. I didn't want to go to any of those big shows like American Idol or Voice or anything. I want to do something smaller, and because I wasn't doing it for like attention, I wanted the experience of it. You know what I mean? To work in the music industry. And when you win, because like I said, I won. You win $5,000. You get him to sing a song that was written for you by Candy Burris and a music video. And I had my guitar with me, and she already recorded the song I was going to sing, and I had to learn it. But the lyric sheet was written out for me, and the music was already on the iPod, and it was just right there in front of me. Like, it was so simple: verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus. So that's what planted the seed for songwriting, and I just kept going.
And what was your most difficult career step?
It's difficult going into music, basically, because it was such a drastic change. You know what I mean? From theater, because you're still on stage and performing, but in theater, people have to pay attention to you. They can't be on their phone. They can't talk to the person next to them. When you're doing your own music and all that, you have to get them to pay attention to you because they don't have to pay attention to you. You have to make them want to see you. And you have to write your own music too, which that takes years of, it took me, I think, 5 years to start writing as good as I do now. So, people don't realize it's a lot of elbow grease.
Yes, the most important thing is the practice. You must practice this every week, every day. So another guest said to me he wrote every day a song, so he practices and he was always better every day.
Definitely. You just gotta keep writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. You know, like it's the 1,000-hour rule. You just gotta keep doing it. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Kind of like working out. At first, you're not gonna be good at it, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
That's true. Some people told me in the interviews that other people gave them obstacles on the way to reach their goal, to not reach their goals. Which obstacles did you have in your life and how did you overcome the obstacles?
One was, I had to have a surgery done where I was bedridden for 8 months, and that was a big obstacle because my life had just kind of turned upside down. Everything just kind of stopped, and I had to recover, and it was kind of a traumatic experience for me. So, but I've grown past it finally. It took years to do so, but like I was like just living in a constant state of fear. Um, the autism again, like I still have a hard time, but I have embraced it and accepted it, for what it is, and I don't see it as a bad thing anymore. It can be very frustrating, but it's not bad. And sometimes, I'm learning this more and more every day, but to stop getting in my own way. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the biggest obstacle can be yourself. So.
Yes, I understand you. So the brain can be the hardest obstacle. So we said that the life is a complete learning process. Which experiences from your career do you still remember with pleasure today?
Doing the candy factory, winning it. I got to miss a week of school for it. I got to fly, on a plane, by myself. That was fun. I did a play in New York, not on Broadway, but in the Village, about Harvey Milk, who was a very famous gay politician here in America. He was the first openly gay man to be elected into public office. He worked with the mayor of San Francisco. So that was a cool experience. And yeah, on a side note, skydiving. I went skydiving once. Now that was amazing. So,
Yeah.
and TikTok. I'm actually very proud of my TikTok. I'm over 220,000 followers. So, you know, it feels good that I've been on it for a year and for it to have grown so much without anybody's help, mind you. It was one of the few things I've done by myself that I could be proud of that I did.
Yes, I can understand you because I'm really proud that I do this interview project because I never thought in the past that I do an interview project like the interview show like this.
Yeah.
So I will count the musicals which you was a part of. So you played in the Major in 2011, the last
When?
2011.
Yeah.
Yes. The Last Romance 2013
Yep.
and Foley's Before the Pandemic.
Yeah.
So did I forgot the one musical?
The Harvey Milk one was right after Follies. So, like,
Yeah.
literally, like 2 weeks later, I was working on that show. So
Was that
That
I've done others too. So, there's a lot to mention, like too much.
yes.
a lot of musicals, but I'm sure that you collect a lot of experiences in the industry.
Experiences, yeah, a lot of them. So it's each project I take something new away from it. So
So you played a role in a musical in New York. So you said it was in a village.
I was in Greenwich Village. The theater was called the Wild Project. That's where the Harvey Milk Show was, and it was a newer show. It was going through its fourth draft. So
It was 2019. You must shave your head for the musical. How does it feel to change the look for a role, and tell more about the time at the musical?
I was playing a real life person, Oliver Sipple, who was a closeted homosexual, who was a former Marine. He saved General Ford from being assassinated. He wasn't invited to the White House because he was gay, but real thing that happened. The director wanted me to look military-esque and told me to give myself a military haircut, you know, a Marine Corps-esque haircut. So I had to shave my head, which, you know, it was summer, so it worked. And I had to kind of grow facial hair too. And the way he described Oliver Sipple was that he was that person you would not expect to be gay. And because I'm not homosexual, he said that's one of the reasons I casted you, because like you know, you are a straight person, so that's why I wanted you for this role. And it was interesting because I had to, you know, shaving your head for a role, it was kind of freeing in a way. I didn't have to, because I got a good amount of hair on my head, you know, and I didn't have to worry about combing my hair or maintaining it or anything like that, because there was no hair at all. So you know, I just had to like wash my head when I took a shower, and that was it. It was less space in my mind, and I had surprisingly more free time, you know.
And what did you learn of this experiments, of this role?
Well, not so much the role, but like it was when I did the Candy Factory, I had help traveling, but I live in New Jersey. I had to go to New York. This is the first time I traveled out of state by myself with, you know, out much help. So that was an experience for me. And just being in New York, man, it's just such an experience. I love New York. You know, I wanted to move there to pursue theater full time before the pandemic, but then the pandemic happened. So
Yes, my wish is to visit New York while Christmas. So I can
yeah,
imagine that it's beautiful at Christmas.
yeah, it is.
So you also won and was nominated for awards in your career. I must show on my paper because there is an award which you was nominated. You was nominated by Broadcast World for Best Vocalist for the role in Joe DiPietro's The Last Romance at the Big Four Theatre, and you won the competition The Candy Factory. What is it for a feeling to see the result of the hard work?
Candy Factory was a competition, so the goal was to win, so that was cool. When it comes to awards and all that, you know, I guess they're cool. Like if I'm ever nominated for one, like it's like, okay, cool, I'm nominated for an award. At the end of the day, that's not why I do it though. I feel like if you're doing anything in show business for awards specifically, you shouldn't be doing it. I do this because I love it, man. You know, the awards, that's just like the last reason I do it. It is cool and it is humbling to be recognized for, you know, your talent and your hard work, I will say. That was cool. I was nominated against Eliza Minnelli, so I knew I was gonna lose, but she's a big deal. But just you know, to be mentioned beside her, you know what I mean? That was really cool. So
Oh, what was your best experiences on stage in the past?
best acting,
Yes.
the New York show. I think that was the first time I got to flex my acting muscles, you know, because I was always known as the singer and I got to sing in the show, but I always played like comedic roles and, you know, over the top kind of, you know, character roles. This is the first time I had a real dramatic moment, you know, to shine. And it was one of those times where I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It was one of the first times where I was acting, but I felt like I was someone else. You know what I mean? Another time was in high school when I sang on stage and put myself out there, and people really heard my voice in high school singing, and it kind of turned my life around in a way. So, in a good way. And you ever heard of the show Hairspray?
Yes.
So we did that in my high school. I was the mom. The mom of the main character is played by a man because they're supposed to be really ugly, and I was the mom, and that was a fun role too, because I got to be very funny on stage. So
I can imagine how grateful it is to be on stage, because I did an ad gallery with gay pictures. So I made a photo shooting with a gay couple from another town. I planned a really big photo shooting. And the ad gallery was over the top with music in the background. Everybody remembered on it. Some people hated my ad gallery, but I love it and I'm proud of it.
awesome. Yeah, that's cool, man.
You are a singer and performer. What was your first passion of both activities?
Both. Just best. It's hard to say because so many of them are good. Just being able to perform.
So
Yes, I can imagine it's a mix of both.
Yep.
And so you perform acoustically and with your band. So how was your process to find your band? Because bands need often a long time to find the best constellations.
I don't have a band. It's just me. When I do sing, and I've learned this about myself, I'll hire a guitarist if I'm singing my own songs, because I'll be performing my song in a little bit, but I can't do it for too long because I'm a singer, and playing guitar and singing at the same time is not easy. With my autism, it's hard to multitask. So I start to lose my voice during the gig. So if I have someone playing my music for me on the guitar or piano, what have you, I could just focus on singing and not have to worry about losing my voice. So, it's mostly acoustically. But when I'm doing theater, there's a band they hire. So
And what is it like a feeling to be on stage? Because there are a lot of people who see you on stage.
it's high. You're at the center of the attention, or you got to make yourself the center of attention. That's your time to shine. And see, if you're doing theater, it's not just about you. You are there to service the overall story. Where if you're performing your own stuff, it is about you, and you got to tell your story. So, I like them both for different reasons.
Yes. And now we will come to your published songs. So you published 7 songs in the past, is that correct?
Seems a little high, but maybe. I think so.
So your first song was Rico in 26.
Rico.
Yes.
I forgot about Rico.
So it was your first song which you published. Did you remember which your song is about, and is it
I do. So I had this neighbor. She was, beautiful, and she started dating this guy, who was just not good for her, but she was madly in love with him, and she just changed, for the worse. And I was at my aunt's home, and she had a dog named Rico, and so I named the guy that she was dating after the dog, because of Rico. Because of Rico, the good girls can't get so. So you know what I mean? So funny song.
It's a song with a story.
Yep.
And is it a different feeling if you published your first song and then your 6th song or 7th song?
Same feeling. Just I just want to get the song out there. You know what I mean? Just so people can listen to it. So it's okay, the project's released. I got to perform it. Next thing. You know what I mean?
yes.
So your job as recording artist is a big part of your life, because I can imagine that you are a lot of times in the studio.
When I can be, yeah. The studio can be expensive. Hence, I got a job. So when I can afford it, it helps. It's hard though, because sometimes you got to find the right producer. Like you're not always going to get the right producer for your song. Sometimes you have a great song, but if you send it to a bad producer, it won't come out right. I had that happen to me recently. We had to take the song to someone else last minute, and they fixed it to what it needed to be. So
Can you still remember how your first times was in the recording studios?
yeah, I was actually in a friend's basement. That was my first experience. He was trying to get into producing and all that, and I was kind of an experiment, and it was fun. It was interesting. It could get boring though, because like you'll like have like I don't play drums, and we had a drummer. He was just like drumming 7 different times on the same track to try and get it as perfect as you can in different takes. So it's an interesting process.
Yes, and it's a really creative process in the studio.
Yes.
So,
So
Because here's
you,
the thing, like unless you produce and you're an music engineer, all you could do really is write the song, and the rest is up to the person producing. You can tell them what you want, and it's up to they're the ones that bring it to life. So
you are also a successful songwriter. For how much? Yes, how many songs did you wrote, and for which people wrote you songs?
Candy Burris so far is the only one that's written me a song. I've written a song called "The Devil" that the Highway Women ended up singing, so that was cool. Um, I can't remember. I've written so many songs, man. I can't keep track. I don't keep track of how many songs I write. I just write the song, get good at the song, and then move on to the next one. You know what I mean?
yes.
How can I imagine the way from the song, from the finished song to the other singer? How is
What do you mean?
how is the way from the song to the other singer?
Well, I was thinking if another person's going to be singing the song, you know, they could sing it how they want, but they need to know the meaning. You know what I mean? Like, and plus, like they're the ones singing it, they're the ones performing it. I just wrote it. I could have my own version of it, but because they're a different person entirely, it could have a whole new meaning to them. So, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that.
Can imagine that it's important to take it not too personal that the other person sings the song.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how is your routine while your process of songwriting? So, from the idea to the finished song.
My best songs happen when they just happen, where I don't have to put that much thought into them. I'll come up with like a little melody. I'll play something, and I like the melody, and I'll just start putting lyrics to it. And if it works, it works. And sometimes I really have to push to write a song. Which can be very taxing. Sometimes I'll write a song in like 30 minutes, and other times I'll write a song in a span of a few days or a week even. So, the best ones just happen without any thought. Sometimes I'll write a song by accident, you know?
Can you give me an exclusive view from the way of the finished song to the published song?
What do you mean?
So your song is finished, and what is the way to the published song?
Oh, we get it mastered. So the song is recorded, the person who recorded it produces it, puts it together, and then we send it out for mastering. We give a release date, and I announce the release date on social media and hope for the best. I have a marketing team behind me, which really helps. So yeah.
Oh, we will come to your latest song now, your actual song called Someone. And it has an important message for you and a lot of people in the world. So tell more about the song and how was the process from the idea to the finished song.
Well, it was during the pandemic, and I was really self-reflecting, and I just, I came up with the melody real quick. The melody just kind of, I have my guitar. The melody just kind of happened. I just kind of went off the tune, but you know what I mean, right? And I just got really honest in my songwriting. It's probably the most honest song I've ever written. And I think of all the songs I've released, this is the one I'm the most proud of. And I wrote it based off my struggles of having autism. Like I said, it's like, for one, like I said, this is one of those songs that happened. And two, like I just got very introspective, and because like I said, being autistic can be very lonely when you're different. So, and I just put my thoughts on the paper, and the song wrote itself. And so we recorded it, released it, did a music video. The music video was interesting because it was still during the pandemic. So we filmed, there was my part and there's the couple's part. My part was filmed here in New Jersey with one videographer, and the other part with the couple was filmed in Tennessee with a different videographer. And they worked together to edit the video, and it looked so seamless. So
Yes, I can imagine how great the way is to have the finished song.
yeah,
So I listen at the song very often because it is not it fits not only for people who have autism, it fits
yeah,
to all people in the world. So everyone wants to be loved. So the song, I cannot remember on the line, is there someone to love me or something? And yes, I really love the lyrics of the time because everybody can feel the lyrics.
thank you. That's what I was going for. You know what I mean? So, I'm not, I've gotten so much positive feedback from the song, and it means a lot. So, yeah.
Who did you collaborate with on the song in the background? Because in the background can be a lot of people who.
Well, I worked with this guy named Yuku Shek, who's in a different part of America. I sent the song to him. He's a producer. He did what he thought was best with the music, and he sent it back. We released it. I liked it, and that was that.
And how was the video shooting? Also,
Like I said, like we filmed my part in New Jersey, and the other part of the video, the couple was filmed in Tennessee, which is a different part of America. And the two videographers, the one I used in New Jersey and the one I used in Tennessee, worked together to make the video seem so seamless. You wouldn't think it was filmed in two different states, but it was. And it was fun. I got to kind of act a little bit in the video. So the shooting the video was a fun day. We had a lot of fun that day. So.
and can you tell more about the feedback and experiments which you got on the song?
People on TikTok, and everywhere else messaged me about the song. I was in People magazine, which is a big magazine. They did an exclusive article for me to premiere my video. That was pretty cool. Just like so many kind messages from people, like they feel like they have someone to relate to, and that means a lot. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, now I have a question. Can you sing the song for the
Yeah,
people?
For the viewer.
I'd love to.
For me.
Love to. I got my guitar right here.
No problem.
Let me just double check a tune. My guitar has been giving me tuning trouble, so my apologies. I tune because I care.
No problem.
I tune before the interview, I swear. But weather and wood don't make a good combo. And that is someone.
Thank you, it was beautiful. So sometimes I hate to cry at songs sometimes, but sometimes I must cry at the song because I feel the song.
That means a lot. Thank you.
So many people move to America with the hope to be a successful singer, actor, performer. So is America a good place with good chances to have success as this singers, actors, performers?
It can be, you know, you don't need to be famous to be happy with it. You know what I mean? There are so many, like, for example, like when you see a movie, you're like, oh, there's that guy. He was in that thing one time. You know, like you don't know who his name is or the actor's name, but you know you've seen them in other stuff. They're not famous, but they do it for the work because they love it. You know, the thing, if you want success, success is different for some people. If fame is how you picture your success, okay. My version of success, you know, if fame happens, cool. I just want to be able to, you know, entertain people and make them, you know, feel good with my music. Or if I do theater, you know, to help them feel something from the story. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just want to put a smile on people's faces.
That's great because the most people should do the job because they love it, because it's their passion. So you have a really big community on TikTok and Instagram. So your content is about having autism. How important is for you social media, and tell more about your content?
Well, you know what it is? It's like I never expected to use my TikTok, you know, to talk about my autism. You know what I mean? I started to, you know, put my music and all that out there, but you know, didn't get any success. So, but I became a comedian because I'm just a naturally a funny guy, and little bit of success right there. But then I made a joke about my autism. Like, you know, I have Asperger's. It's you know, a form of autism and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that, nor should there be. I wouldn't change a thing, except for the name, because Asperger sounds like Asperger's, which sounds like a bowel movement from McDonald's. You know, make Asperger's, you're not loving it. So, you know, and it just kind of took off. And I just started talking about my experience of having autism, and my TikTok just blew up. And I was like, okay, so this could kind of be something there. And it's helped me personally as a person grow to be more self-accepting of myself. Because like I said, I think earlier in the interview, there was a time I denied having autism because I thought it was a bad thing. And that's a lot of what from society, you know, because like autism is viewed as a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. It can be a detriment for some people because like I said, I'm lucky. I'm verbal, I talk, I drive. Not a lot of autistic people drive. I drive. I work a full-time job. You know, I have friends. I have good social game. A lot of times there are a lot of times where that isn't the case, but it's not always the case. You know, there is a positive side to autism, and I wouldn't want to be any other way. You know.
So yes, I can imagine it. So I don't know how it is to having autism, but I can imagine people who having autism, they are human people. So we are all human people and we are all different.
Yeah.
So what was the most beautiful or nicest feedback which you got on your content on social media?
You know what it is? It's the kind messages from other people on the autism spectrum saying that they feel like they have someone they can relate to, and like people reaching out like saying, you know, because your videos, I, you know, went to see if I have autism, and they diagnosed me with it, and it explains so much about my life, and your videos help me. And I say this humbly because like that was the most rewarding part. You know, like, because just simply that's not what I was aiming for. You know, I just wanted to like put fun content out there, and you know, it ended up helping people, which, that, it means a lot. You know what I mean? I did not expect that. And it helped people that I know personally. Like there was a woman that my mom is friends with. She was watching my TikToks. And through my TikTok, she came to the realization that her daughter may be autistic, and they went to see if they could get the diagnosis, because you got to be you can do self-diagnosis, which, can help, but it's official when you get the diagnosis. And they got the diagnosis, and it's like it explains so much. And it's because your videos that were able to figure this out. And it's just that's the most rewarding part to me from starting TikTok. So
Which advices can you give a young person who wants to work in the music and performer industry?
you got to put your all into it. You can't just go into it like just a little bit. You got to put your all into it. There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. You also have to remember that the entertainment industry is a business. They say show business. There is a business behind it. And so, sometimes you got to leave your ego at the door and realize it is a business, because you are your business, and that's one thing. And also, too, do it because you love it. Have fun. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, you got to be able to support yourself. Don't follow someone else's path in life. Don't follow someone else's career path. Don't try and be like anybody else. Be yourself.
A lot of people learn lesson on their way, like never give up or something. Here, what important lessons did you learn in your music in the music and acting that you still fondly remember today?
You got to put your all into it. You can't just go into it like just a little bit. You got to put your all into it. There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. You also have to remember that the entertainment industry is a business. They say show business. There is a business behind it. And so, sometimes you got to leave your ego at the door and realize it is a business, because you are your business, and that's one thing. And also, too, do it because you love it. Have fun. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, you got to be able to support yourself. Don't follow someone else's path in life. Don't follow someone else's career path. Don't try and be like anybody else. Be yourself.
So, would you recommend to begin in the local or in the big cities?
Start out local. Hone your skills. You know what I mean? Don't just go into it full in. I say hone your skills. Like, get comfortable being in front of people, whether it be theater or playing your own music. Just get comfortable. Just play out. Like, get good at it. That's another thing. You're not going to be good at it at first. You have to get good at it. Like I said, it took me like 5 years or so to start writing the kind of songs I write now. So you gotta you gotta give it your all. You know what I mean? Like kind of like a bodybuilder, who works out all the time. Their goal is to make themselves look good, and they can't skip a day at the gym. They gotta there's sacrifices there. If there's something you want to do because you love it, there's gonna be sacrifices, and that's something you have to accept.
A lot of people learn lesson on their way, like never give up or something. Here, what important lessons did you learn in your music in the music and acting that you still fondly remember today?
Couple things. If you are not, one thing more specifically, someone said this to me once. If you are not nervous to be up there on stage, you do not deserve to be there at all. Because you can feel comfortable, but you have to be nervous, because that means you want it, you crave it, you want to give your best. The minute you stop caring, and stop being nervous, is the minute you stop caring so much, which is, it can happen. No matter how good the venue or gig is, here's a perfect example from my personal experience. One of my greatest gigs, there's one night I had probably one of my greatest gigs. It was probably my best gig I had ever had. And it was a great gig. It's one of the gigs I'm the most proud of. The next night, I had possibly one of the worst gigs I ever had. It was horrible. I didn't even get to finish my set. It was just such a bad gig. And it wasn't so much on me, it was the venue. And it kind of showed me no matter what the circumstances are, you got to give it your best and do 1000%, not even 100,000. Just give it your best. There was another gig I did one time where I was supposed to play at a boardwalk, by a beach. I thought I was going to be on the stage. Oh no, you're just playing on the boardwalk. My manager said we should leave. I decided to make the best of the situation. I stayed there. I opened my guitar case. I got my guitar out, and I stood there on the boardwalk and played for a couple hours. And people would throw money into my guitar case and request songs. I played the song, and it was, you got to take a bad situation and make it good. You got to own it. You know what I mean?
Yes. So
I can remember that a singer from Germany said one time, it's normal to be nervous. You must give the nervous a big hug and use to be it positive.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and did you have any exciting projects coming up? You can
talk about or not talk about?
Yeah, like I'm doing my first play in a year since COVID started. It's a community theater show. It's a local thing, but I'm just happy to do it again because theater is my first love. So I'm happy to do that. Like I said, I'm releasing a new song soon. It's called Somebody's Heart. It's a love song. I don't have a release date yet. If you want any information out there, you could go to my website, corysinger.com, CORYSINGER.com. All my social medias are on there. My TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, everything is on there for more information because we will be releasing the song during the summer and the music video as well. I just filmed a music video down in Tennessee. So I'm very proud of it. And I'm going to be recording another song soon.
Well, that sounds great that you have a lot of projects in the next time.
Yes, I like being busy.
Oh yes, and you collect a lot of experiments then.
Yes.
I know that the platforms like Spotify are really good, so a lot of people can hear it, but I listen that it's better to buy the music like on Amazon or iTunes because the singers must get more money off if the people buy the music and not stream the music.
Yeah. But sometimes, it would be nice to get a return, like a better return. But sometimes you got to make sacrifices like for free. Like the more views you get on something or more like the more people know it, the more popular it gets. They'll be more than happy to buy your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Plus live performing, that's where it's at.
And what was your first live performance where you were alone?
I was alone. Oh, I don't remember that. My first onstage performance, it was downstairs at this like little bar. Where I was in a band before, but this is the first time I was by myself. And it was just an intimate, like open mic, not paid, just like a fun thing. And it was fun, like people supported me and all that. So, yeah, that's one I remember like the most.
Oh, what are your wishes to the future?
Just to keep growing and getting better, growing my TikTok, hopefully the pandemic could end so I could start putting more out there. You know what I mean? So start getting out there again. Being in front of people again, performing in front of people again, whether it be doing my own songs or theater, just doing something. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm really optimistic that you can do it because Someone is an incredible song and I'm sure that a lot of people will hear it in the future.
Well, that's my hope.
And the positive thing is, if you play it live on the street or open mic bars or something, so you will have new people who will listen your music.
Yeah.
So
the more people, the better.
That's true. The last question is, yes, it's the last question now. What is your important message that you want to spread in the world?
Be yourself and focus on your abilities, not your disabilities.
That's
Nice message.
Thank you.
Because being yourself is so important in the modern world.
Yep. Most definitely.
Oh, thank you so much that you was my guest today. It was such a pleasure and thank you that you sang the song today.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun today.
Oh, that's great.